Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about two of my recent favorite things. One is a coffee maker. It's called AeroPress. A lot of people who are into coffee know about it. I didn't, but it's turned out to be a great buy. And the second was a book that I recently read called The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, which is surprisingly interesting to me. So I hope that I can get you excited about it as well. And then also a side note, I finally got an external microphone. So hopefully for the first time on my channel, you can actually hear me speaking on my videos. I was using just the built-in microphone on my iPhone previously, and the quality was horrible. I think worse than the iPhone mics typically are. I think maybe mine was actually broken or had some issues. So I hope this new mic works a lot better. Thanks for watching and listening. I have a manual coffee grinder. It's a ceramic burr coffee grinder. I'd actually like to replace it with a metal burr coffee grinder, but it works for now. And I like the action of grinding coffee in it. It's very peaceful to me. The AeroPress is just a few pieces of plastic, really. You can see one of the main components there next to the coffee. It's very simple. It uses these small round paper filters, just one filter at the bottom for each cup of coffee or so. You don't need to pre-soak the filters or anything. You can just put the coffee directly in there with hot water. I usually pour the hot water in and I let it sit for about 90 seconds, I think is a good amount of time. It doesn't need to go quite to 2 minutes, but a little over a minute is nice. You stir it a bit with a little plastic piece that comes with the AeroPress. Everything with the AeroPress is just plastic, but it makes an incredible cup of coffee. It's very delicious. So the book I want to talk about is The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, and I have to say, when I started reading this book, I wanted to dislike it. If I had to describe the book, it's about wealth and happiness, really, which are two very self-helpy concepts in my mind, and I really don't like the self-help genre at all. I know it's a popular genre, but it just doesn't do it for me. But this book is actually fascinating. He goes through a lot of different things in the span of the book. I'm talking about blockchain to education to finance, and it covers a lot of different topics. I think some of the ideas that really got to me was he talks about how wealth is created, and a long time ago, up until recent days, wealth was created through two primary ways. One is through capital, and that's investing money in building factories and buildings and creating products and selling those products and managing the distribution. Makes a lot of sense to me. The second way is through labor, of course. That kind of goes hand in hand with capital in a lot of circumstances where you're building a factory, then you're hiring workers to work in that factory, and you're building cars or washing machines or something else. But he said that that paradigm is kind of breaking down now, where people are able to generate wealth in pretty new and exciting ways. And the two ways he points to in the book, and I don't think this is maybe encompasses everything, but it's a good start, is that people can create massive amounts of wealth through code. So anybody can sit down and write a program. It's very empowering in that sense. You don't need a big factory to create an app or a program. One person can sit down and actually create an amazing piece of code that sells for a lot of money. And the other one is through media. So people can create vlogs or write books or do other things that for the incremental cost of creating 2 or 3 or 4 or a million is not that much. So that's a really interesting way that I think he tapped into as to how wealth is created these days. And from that comes this concept of leverage, which I also think of it as scale, but it's like how easy is it to take this idea and grow it to a bigger size. So if you are creating code, if you're creating a program, or if you're creating media, if you're creating a book or a podcast, it's very easy to scale that up. So leverage is really easy to achieve in that situation. He highlights leverage as something that's really important to building a sustainable amount of wealth over your life. So very interesting concepts. It's a quirky book. I mean, he does I think the chapter titles come from tweets that he originally tweeted, and so the tweet, it becomes the title of the chapter or the section category, and then there's more in-depth information on that concept that was first posited in a tweet. So I really enjoyed it. Another great thing about this book is you can get it online for free. So I'll put up the web address somewhere, and you can download a Kindle book, you can download a PDF, you can just read it because it's also listed as a blog on this website. In this video, I used editing software for the first time. I used Final Edit Pro. I'm taking an online course on Skillshare about how to use Final Edit Pro from Ali Abdaal. I highly recommend it if you want to learn how to edit videos in Final Edit. He's got a course on Skillshare that's great. So I hope that you can tell when you're looking at the video. I tried doing some B-roll. I did multiple cuts throughout the video. I laid down a soundtrack. I did some sound effects. I did titles. Did lots of stuff for the first time for me in this video, and it was a really pleasurable experience. I think I realized how much of the magic happens after the film is done shooting, when you start to put everything together and you add the layers, and it becomes richer and more interesting and more visually compelling as you do the editing and Final Edit. So again, each week, every few days, I'm posting another video, and each one should be a pretty big progression over the prior one. And with these first ones, I'm talking mostly about making videos, but I will talk about lots of other stuff as well. But as I do the first few, this is definitely a friend of mine for me right now. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. I can't recommend Final Edit Pro enough. It's fantastic for YouTubers or vloggers. Definitely give it a shot if you haven't. All right, bye.